Hello, online crew. How are you today? Is the sun shining? Is the snow falling? What's happening in your part of the world? Let me know. Now, I have a message today for those of you that don't consider yourself to have much influence on social media. So people aren't really listening. They're not really looking. They're not hanging off to you of your every word yet. I'm sure they will, guys. But you're just trying to build a bit of influence. You're trying to attract more people to you. I have a really important message to you guys today. This is really quite simple, but it's very effective. And what you do on social media, from word go, when you start, is really, really important. And it's the difference between people looking at you, which I'm sure could be a concern of yours, people looking at you going, who do they think they are? They don't know you as being somebody who's got any kind of experience in the business that you're in, or you don't have any success yet, but you're sharing something with somebody on social media and they're like, what are they doing now? Or what's this all about? So that can be an outcome, and I'm sure some of you are concerned about that and it holds you back. I'm sure some of you don't do live videos because that kind of thought holds you back. Would that be correct? Would that be a fair assumption? That you worry about if you started so you join a business and then you want to build on social media because you don't want to do it the old school traditional way. You want to leverage all this modern stuff that we've got access to with social media, but you worry about what people think. And you worry about people sort of thinking, well, who are they to be talking about that subject? And maybe you're not an expert in a particular area that you want to start promoting. So you've got all these doubts and things that go through your mind, or what would I say? What can I talk about and who's going to listen to me? Those kind of things. So I have a really big recommendation for you guys that can make a difference as to how you're perceived on social media. And that comes down to sort of what you say and how you say it. So please listen up. Anybody that's sort of starting out, or it may not even be starting out, you may have been playing around with social media for a while, but you're not considered an influencer in some way. This video is relevant to pretty much everybody, unless you're a big known name and people already following you and, they listen to every word that you say and, all that kind of stuff. So pass this video along to other people, because this will make or break you on social media, what I'm going to share with you today, because it'll either turn people off from you really, really quickly, or it'll get people a little bit intrigued. So it's that important, okay? If we have not met before, my name is Helen Martin. I'm your online crew captain. All that means is that I'm of service to our amazing online crew community here. If you're part of my crew, let me know the emojis. If you're not familiar with us, the palm tree is our kind of mascot emoji. Those that are in my free group, which some of you will be watching from, Social Media for Strategies for Home Business Owners, you get to put the little fish emoji down. Those of you in my coaching community, you get to put the cruise ship down. And one day we'll get together and we'll go on a cruise and we will be soaked up with sun and palm trees, and I'll be sipping some margaritas or a gin and tonic, or maybe a bourbon and dry, been known to like that too. Sipping something, or you can sip water or have a cup of coffee, whatever floats your boat. But just getting together, one day we'll do that, okay? Who's in that? Who will come on a little trip with me somewhere? And maybe we'll do a mastermind at the same time or something like that. So look into the future and have some goals. And those that are life members, you get to put the anchor down because you're anchored in with me. And where are my VIPs, a small select pool of people that I work with for a year? They're on a wave because they're on a massive wave of momentum. So put your emojis down and let me know where you belong. Those of you that were in group 20 of the Build Your Brand course, and we had a live Zoom call yesterday that went for over 4 hours. It was a marathon, but so much value. Like those who were on the call would have got so much training out of that. So the recording is up in that group. Any of you that need to solidify your brand, work that out, rework your brand, maybe start a new one or rebrand one. The next course starts on the 15th of March. That's on my website, helenmartinonline.com/branding. Okay, who's here? We have Cherie, we have Janet, how are you? We have Cynthia, good to see you here. We've got Susan, it's snowing there. Freezing cold, -30. You can have that, Cindy. I don't think I'd cope. I don't know. I actually don't know what that feels like. We do get snow in Australia, but not where I live. So I have experienced a couple of times. Where was that resort that I started talking to you guys about one day and I couldn't remember? Oh, Steamboat Springs in Colorado. That's where I've been skiing overseas. Anybody know that ski resort? Had so much fun. 300 Australian, hey Yvette, 300 Australian exchange students, all in a ski resort. We got billeted with families. I was in San Diego for 3 weeks. Then we all hopped on buses and went to Vegas. We pretty much packed out one of the Vegas things. I don't know if it's still there. Does anyone know if the Golden Nugget is still in Vegas? And it's got a 72-lane bowling alley down in basically the basement. So we went bowling and then we all got on buses again and went up to Colorado and spent a number of days in the ski resort in Steamboat Springs. So much fun. So much fun. Hello, Sheila. It's freezing cold in Boston. Hello, Beth. We got Lucy here as well. Don't worry about what people think. Well, that's a good way to be. We've got Melissa as well from Scotland. Yvette, I used to have that feeling, but I don't anymore. Good. Susan's one of our VIPs. Hello, Anne, who's tagging Nicola. How are you guys? Lives are no longer scary thanks to the challenges. Beautiful. We got another video challenge starting on the 1st of March. I haven't announced it yet, but I guess I just did. But hold on to the details coming soon. Hello, Christine. We got Cindy here. Anyone appearing like that? It means that you're in the group, the social media group, and you just need to click the link above, which says streamyard.com/Facebook. Same again here. Sometimes Facebook does actually drop you off as well. So sometimes you need to do it twice. You shouldn't need to, but sometimes you do. Hello from Susan. Can't wait. Oh, yes, a cruise. So who's coming with me? -28 where Beth is. Would love to. Hey, Gloria, how are you? Up for that. No worries. Nicola's going to catch the replay. Yes, count me in. Hello, Hero. How are you? Used to think that, but I don't anymore. It's all about getting where I'm destined to go. Yeah, cool. So I'll go back and look at the rest of the comments later. Otherwise, I just sit here chatting to you guys for ages. So what I want to share with you, and this might seem simple. It came up on our branding course yesterday. I think I've talked to it about the VIPs just recently as well, and I thought everybody really needs to know this, okay? So you join a company and you think, yep, I want to use social media. You get told by your upline, right, go onto your personal profile. Some of you will have groups that you create. Some of you will have a business page, etc. So your goal is to get people to know, like, and trust you. Would that be fair? That you want people to look at you and go, that's interesting. That's, that's intriguing. Or I'm curious about sort of what they're doing. So whatever you're doing, wherever you are, personal profile, business page, or a group, you need to start talking about something. So catch my live video from yesterday regarding if you want to attract more people to you, you have to let them know what you do. So that's yesterday's video. Go and watch that because that's an important part of the puzzle in letting people know, what it is that you do so they can reach out to you. Otherwise, you can't expect to be successful on social media and get people to reach out to you when you don't have anywhere what it is that you do or what you help people with, okay? So we learn attraction marketing strategies. Well, I hope you are. And you want to learn to attract people to you instead of repelling them. What a lot of people do is do what their uplines tell them to do because maybe it worked for their upline. Maybe they've been in the business for 5 years and what they did on social media 5 years ago actually worked, but it can't work today because social media is too busy. There's too much choice. There's too many people that are saying a similar thing. You've got to stand out from the crowd if you want to be successful on social media. So how do you stand out from the crowd? You share things with people, and whatever it is that you want to know, that let people know what you do. So ultimately, think of the end game. What are you selling? Are you selling the business opportunity, or are you selling products in a particular sector? You know, health and wellness or jewelry or finance or weight loss, or, you know, what's your thing? Okay, so you need to talk about that thing. Okay, so that's just the basic stuff. If you want to sell more of your stuff, you need to talk about the topic of what that stuff is around, so people actually get to know you as being somebody who's got a passion about, you know, or some interest in, or some cool tips about. Okay, I hope I'm making sense when I say that. But here's what I really want to let you know. When you suddenly turn up on social media and start talking about something that you've never talked about before, an online business, some products that you found that are amazing and everyone can see through your post. Oh, they're just trying to sell me some stuff. People are skeptical. People, you know, get turned off because they're like, what's she talking about now? Like, maybe you've been, just let me give you an example. Maybe you've worked in an office your whole life. You've done a desk job, you've been in corporate or something like that. And then suddenly you turn up in social media talking about this wonderful stuff that you've got that everybody should have. And people are going, what's that? And that's what you guys worry about, because it's like, I don't have any credibility and whatever. So here's the kicker. Here's the difference. It's what you say, but not only what you say, it's how you say it. And this was a trigger for me a couple of days ago when I was doing something on social media, and there was a few of us talking about a particular topic, and somebody jumped on and started dictating to the rest of the people what they should be doing over the top of all the moderators. And it was like, this is really interesting. Somebody who was going, you should do this and you should do that and blah, 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 and blah, 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 when there's actually expert and mentors in the room to give that kind of advice. What kind of feeling does that give you when somebody comes in and tells you what to do? So they share their message in a way that goes, well, you should do this and you should do this, and I reckon that you should go and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. How does that make you feel? Do you respect somebody who you don't know has got any expertise in this area? Or maybe you do know them, but you know them for something different. You don't know them for the particular topic that they're talking about. What immediately goes through your mind? Who are they? What credibility or credentials have they got to be saying, you should blah, 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 blah? How does that make you feel on the receiving end of that? Share me your thoughts. I want to know what your immediate kind of reaction is when somebody tells you what to do, but you don't really know who the person is. They're not known. They don't have a following yet. They're not known as an expert in that area. They don't really have any influence in that area, but somebody's really strong telling you what you should do. What's your reaction to that? How does that make you feel? That's a boss. So somebody who's dictating. Who the heck is that? Maybe. Any other thoughts? Share them with me. Bottom line, what I'm trying to get across to you guys is, if you want to gain respect from people that don't know you, you're friend requesting people. And so new people are coming into your world all the time, which they should be, because if you want to be successful, you know, on social media, you always need to be connecting with new people, always. So whether that's on your personal profile and you're friend requesting new people, or you're on a business page and you start building a brand, or you open a group for a particular purpose and start talking about things. Now, groups have different purposes. It could be the purpose of the group to sell stuff. That might be the purpose of it. So it's okay to do that in there in a safe space. But other groups, they're more to build relationships with people. So we want to share value. So we want to do this in a way where you're sharing, not telling. So when you share, it's something to be very, very mindful of. When you dictate to people and you start a business page or a group, or you suddenly turn up on your personal profile and you're talking about something, but nobody has any respect for you yet in that field, or knows you of having any expertise in that field, share, don't tell. So invest, learn, teach. So invest in some training, learn something, and then turn around and share it with people. So it does say teach in that particular scenario, but that's for those of you who say, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to talk about. I've got no idea what to talk about. You invest in some training, you learn it, and you turn around and teach it. But my version of that would be turn around and share it. So say things like, I'm developing a huge passion for XYZ. So I'm learning, but I'm learning a lot. And what I'm learning, I think, would be of great benefit to others of you out there. So I'm sharing with you what I'm learning. So what I learned the other day was, so maybe you could try and see if that works for yourself. So that is a very different message than me suddenly turning up on a business page, a group, or my personal profile and saying, if you want to get fit, you should do this. And if you want to lose weight, you should do this. And if you want to build a business online, you want to do this and you want to do that. You want to share that in a way. If you have no influence, guys, like you're starting from scratch and you're building up your profile and you're building up your influence, come from a place of sharing and suggesting, not dictating and telling. Because dictating and telling and yelling at people it actually turns people off. It makes people mad. If you've got that kind of personality and people know you for that, that is different as well. But if you're not known for that and you suddenly turn up on social media and you start telling people what to do about how to be healthier or how to be cleaner, or toxic free or fashion advice, and it's like, where the hell has this come from? So start with a bit of a story and share that story on an ongoing basis so people know where you're coming from and they know that you're coming from in the right place, that you just want to share what you're learning. You've got no place to turn up on social media and dictate something to somebody when you've got no credibility in that something. So just your language and your body language alone will either get the respect or turn people off. So you could even say something to something. If you want to share something with your audience, say, look, I don't know if this is going to help you or not, but this is what I've learned, just recently. So I thought I'd share this with you. Something that I found to be, really helpful, because I've actually tried this myself, is maybe it might work for you, maybe it won't. You will hear me in a lot of my mentoring. People ask me very direct questions because they think things are black and white. Social media is anything but black and white. Facebook ads are very anything but black and white. Most things are not black and white, but people ask very straightforward questions like, how can I do this? Or how can I grow my audience? Or how can I whatever? It depends on your personality. It depends how often you show up. It depends how consistent you are. It depends how you talk to people. It depends how you carry yourself on social media. There's no black or white here. It's very gray. And your personality is part of the intrigue to people that makes you stand out from the rest of the crowd. But with that and sharing your personality, you want to do it in a way that is sharing and suggesting with people, and that won't turn people off. If you're just sharing something you've learnt, and if you can say, look, I thought, I was watching a training the other day and the message really resonated with me, and I think this is going to help me in my business, so I thought I'd share it with you. Something about health and wellness. You can't turn up on social media and suddenly be a health and wellness expert if you don't have any credentials behind that. But a lot of people are in health and wellness type businesses. So share what you're learning and the purpose behind that. It's like, I'm on a mission to get healthier and I want to take you guys on the ride. So I'm just sharing with you what I'm learning. So, something about the skin and, toxic stuff. And did you know that if you've got any things in your bathroom covered with this particular ingredient, you want to go and check those out, because that's really, really damaging for your skin and you could look older, younger, and no one wants to do that. Like, you just share stuff. You don't want to tell people, you want to share and suggest. Okay. Does this make sense to you guys? Because it's really important. When people do ask me those direct questions, you'll often hear me. I don't know if you guys will relate to this right now, because it's mainly in my sort of coaching stuff, but I'll say a lot, we'll test that out and evaluate if that works for you. I'm not going to say to you, do this or do that. When people join me in my network marketing team, I'm a little bit different to most uplines because I say openly to my team, I'm not going to dictate how you build. If you want to build the traditional way, go for it. I support you. If you want to build online, go for it. I support you. And I've got lots of training about that I can help you with. If you want to do Facebook ads, float your boat, go for it. I'll support and help you. Do what you want to do. But dictating to people what they should do, when they should do it, even in a team, it doesn't gain a lot of respect unless you've already got the respect because you're super, super successful, you have a massive following, and you can carry that off. If you can, and you've got that kind of respect for people because you've earned that respect, then kudos to you. But unless you're really successful and you've earned the right, and you've got the respect of a lot of people and a big audience and the influence, then you need to be very careful about how you carry yourself off on social media and the way that you talk to people. So I hope that really helps some of you in really thinking about how you talk to people on Facebook Lives, what kind of posts you put out, how you talk to people in Messenger. You don't want to, I'm very careful with my words, majority of the time. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect either. But I'll be very careful, especially if I want to say something that I know somebody might take offensively. It's like, oh, I need to get this across, but I don't want it to make sound like I'm telling them off or something. So it's like, what I would recommend you actually try. Like I have students that rely on me and mentor them. So I have learned over the time how to actually treat people and communicate with people and get a message across without trying to offend somebody. Now, I know some of you won't care. Well, if somebody's offended, somebody's offended. Fair enough, it might fit your personality. But how we treat people and the messages that come across, particularly on social media, when you want to make a good go of this, the potential of this industry, you want to build a big team, you want to have lots of income coming in so you can have choices to do the things that you want to do, to work full time from home and ditch, any job that you've got. But you have to earn the right to have a following on social media. You have to earn the right to attract people to you. It doesn't just happen. I'm sorry if you think it does. If you think you can just turn up and do Facebook Lives and just post, every day and do 3 Facebook Lives a week and that's it, and you're going to be successful in 6 months to a year. Sorry, it's a lot deeper than that. And you want to be a lot more intentional in what you say and how you say it. And, if you don't have a big, a big influence or a big network of people that look up to you and you've already making, millions of dollars and you're, got a team of 10,000 people and all the rest of it, they can carry it off. But you probably can't if you're not there yet. So I'm encouraging you to be very careful the way you are being perceived on social media and share and suggest and encourage people. People will respect you for that. If you turn up and dictate, tell people what to do, and you're really strong about that, when you don't have the credibility behind you to even say that, people are going to get skeptical of you and they will switch off straight away. So you have a lot of power in gaining people's respect or turning them off you by the way you talk and suggest it, all those kind of things. Okay, so what are your thoughts around that? I'd love to know, whether that rings true for you, whether you've never really thought about it that hard before. Is that helpful to you to hear that, as to how you might carry yourself off on social media? But I just want to preface that with, do you, in relation to don't try to be somebody that you're not, but you can still do you and share and suggest. So be you. Don't try to be somebody that you're not, but you can still be you and be, share and suggest rather than dictate and yell. Does that make sense? And I'm not saying any of you are yelling at all. Like, don't take that the wrong way. I'm just trying to, that really, you should do this and it's like, who the hell are they? Where did they come from? You look them up, they've got no following. So you don't want people to, react like that to you because they're gone. Okay. Matthew, hello. That is why I love to engage with you, authentic and genuine. Thank you, Matthew. I don't want to offend anyone and prefer to help. And I believe in earning the right to have people follow me. And I want to be a help and not a harm. And it was something we talked about a lot on the branding call yesterday. For those that are seriously building their brands, is, you want to be helpful to people. But to do that, you've got to earn the right for people to follow you. You got to earn the right to people to join you in your team. It doesn't just happen. Yes, I build 100% online and I recruit people, from online, but I have been here doing live videos for a few years now. I have never dropped the ball on live videos, ever. I've done them since I started. I've not always done 5 days a week. I started with 2, somewhere in the line I went to 3. And then when I had, quite a few thousand people following me, so I didn't do 5 lives a week early on. It was when I had the audience, then I went to 5. It takes time to build that respect and that rapport, but I've never dropped the ball on going live. So I've earned my skin. Does that make sense? Like, I've earned the right to have you guys show up because, day in, day out, I come here and share something hopefully meaningful and insightful. Maybe not all the time, but, a lot of the time. But I work hard for that. I spend a lot of time creating content, which I think what's going to be helpful, what's really going to make a difference. Something that I'm talking about today is it's not rocket science, but would you rather have people curious and learning to know, like, and trust you, or look at you when you first do live videos and go, who the hell are they to give out advice like that? So it's the way you pitch it that can make a really big difference. Sorry, I've been on calls all morning. I need to drink. Ellen, thank you, Helen. Good to know. Sometimes I never know how I sound on social media. I will check your videos, encourage and respect others. And just, if you're not sure how you come across, go and watch one of your own videos and just check in with your language. It's not necessarily what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. You could have some great information, but if it's being said in a particular way, but you're not known for that, it's kind of like, well, who the hell are they? So it's just how you share your information that I'm really highlighting here. I'm careful on how I choose my words and keep a high level of awareness of that. Well, that's all you can do, because it's not, I still do it too. I can be quite strong about some advice that I give to you guys, but I'm in the industry living and breathing everything that I'm teaching. Like, I feel like I have some credibility, but, I'm only just getting started. I've got a long ways to go, and I want a much bigger following than I have now, but I've still got to earn the right every single day to get you guys to show up with me. I don't take that for granted at all. You are right, as always. I think it's super important to guide people, not pressure people. Share info, don't push people. Absolutely. Agree. That is a great reminder. Need to be careful of that. Just as long as you've got a level of awareness, you'll slip. You'll end up telling people stuff when you don't really have the credibility to tell people stuff. But just have a higher level of awareness and just watch your words. Watch how you share your information. And you will eventually just get better and better at it, that people just really respect what you have to say because it's the way you're saying it. Until you get really, really successful and you can say what you want to say and say it how you want to say it, because the people are already there. You've already earned the right. Make sense? Trust takes time to build. It is done over time. Yes, very good point. This is why I come to see your Zooms. Very honest and trustworthy. Thank you, Ellen. I appreciate the feedback. Talk with people at people. Yeah. So what I'm suggesting is have a conversation with people on social media. Don't talk at people. Talk with people. Just remember that. Don't talk at people. Talk with people. Even on a Facebook Live. Is Laurie on? Laurie, I'll be there in a second on our Zoom. We've got a call in a minute, and I just looked at the time, so I'll get off in a second. But Laurie, if you're on, I'll be there in a second. Or if somebody can message her that knows her. Just remember that. Talk with people. Don't talk at people. When you talk at people, it can be a little bit cringy. But when you talk with people and you have a conversation and you ask questions, especially those of you that are doing Facebook Lives, if you draw the audience into what you're saying, ask their opinion, share information. What do you think about that? I'd love to know your thoughts on. You're having a conversation with your audience. You're not just turning up on a Facebook Live and talking at your audience. There is a massive difference on how is that perceived. Okay? I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Orphe, I'll say, or Janelle. I'm not sure. Let me know what you prefer. What's the simplest way to say your name? It's not easy to get loyal followers. If you brought your likes on your page, you're not really sure if you'll get engagement. Starting with providing help and being authentic would eventually gain you a loyal following. Yeah, I mean, the people that like what you have to say will stay. If you've brought, just a little side note, if you've brought likes onto your page that you don't think are in your target market and they really shouldn't be there, just take the time to go into your settings of, if it's a business page you're talking about, or even your friends list, and go and clean it out every now and again. The worst thing that you can do is have 5,000 friends you're not connected to, or 2,000 followers on a business page that are not in your target market and nobody engages. That is so damaging for you, for the algorithm, because all Facebook is saying is, there's a hell of a lot of people here, but nobody's having a conversation. They're not engaging with their content. So we're not going to send their content out to many people. You could have the best content ever, but if no one's really engaging it because the wrong people are there, then you're going to work really hard for not much gain. So sometimes, and I've had to do this with students, is especially on a business page. I had somebody who had 20,000 followers, and I looked at their videos and stuff, and there was like 10 views. And it's like, what's going on here? This just doesn't add up. And they'd gone and bought likes, which people don't really do anymore. It's not a thing. If you've ever done that, you definitely need to go back and clean up your page. So that person went back and took most of the people off and ended up back with 2,000, went from 20,000 to 2,000, and immediately same Facebook lives, but the views were like, 5 times as much as what they were when they had 20,000 people, because that's a really bad look for Facebook. 20,000 people and 5 views, 10 views. Facebook's not going to do anything for that person. So who's there? We want them to be engaged. So if they're the wrong people, go and get rid of some Facebook friends off your personal profile. Make room for other people that you can target and, build a good relationship with and get engagement from. Business page, if they're the wrong people, go through your settings, have a look who's sitting there and remove them. You don't have to block them, just remove them. It's really unhealthy for you in your future on social media if you've got a personal profile or a business page or an event group with the wrong people in it. And spending the time to go and clean it up, even if that means your numbers go down, and then you get the right people in, that would be a really effective use of your time. Okay, I'm 3 minutes late to a Zoom call. I've got to go. I hope this message was meaningful to you, and I would recommend you share this out because it's a simple thing. It's a simple concept to absorb, but so, so powerful. So I'll go back to your comments later. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I hope you know how much I appreciate it when you turn up with me live, particularly because I love the communication and the comments that you leave me. It drives me. I love to know what you guys are thinking. So thank you. Okay, so tomorrow, just a heads up, if you're still here with me on the live, I am going to be half an hour earlier tomorrow because I've got to help host a webinar at my normal time. So I will be here half an hour earlier tomorrow, but I'll put up a reminder before I go live. Okay, catch you tomorrow, guys. Bye.